the Titans had the heaviest presence there. It would be easier to list the individuals from the organization who weren't in attendance at the Cam Ward Pro Day workout, from Chad Brinker, who is basically running the show now, even though they don't come out and say that as overtly as they did when they gave him the job. Mike Borgonzi, the GM, Brian Callahan, the head coach, Dave Ziegler, the assistant GM, VP, Reggie McKenzie, A.J. Highsmith, Nick Holtz, Bo Hardigree, the quarterback's coach. I mean, they were all there.
That's strong.
The Titans also had their in-house TV and website production team.
Damn. I
there.
mean, when you see that
Sunday night, I mean,
that starts to become like, I mean, they didn't announce it yet. They didn't get a deal done yet. But when it starts to go all into that capacity, this feels like old school, like quarterback number one pick type of thing. Like, we know he's the number one. We're going all in on it early, and we're not really hiding it. That's what it feels like, at least to me right now.
Let's see some Cam Ward, shall we?
Right. I'm excited for you to – I know you've seen Cam Ward, but I am excited for you to see him a little bit more closely, right, as far as just, like, his skills. You can see he's got great feet. And this right here, let's rewind it right here. Let's just start right there. Can we rewind that? I do want you to. He is amazing at these type of throws, and these are Mahomes-ish type of throws, right?
Yes.
Lamar Jackson. But look at how easy he can move and how flexible his arm, and he throws that 45 yards on a rope running to his left. That's how gifted his arm is, Mike. It's easy power. He can just flick it, and I know you got respect and like watching those kind of quarterbacks.
I mean, quick release, it's like a cobra,
it
right?
Is.
It's
it
just,
is.
And it snaps. Look at that snap.
Yep. It's a
It's
little more
gone.
sidearm-ish, right? But that's okay. But I would agree with you in the quickness of the release. It's about as quick as you're going to get. His ability to, whether it's, oh, wait, I got pressure and I got to get it out, or, hey, there's a screen pass over here, and I can't have time to fiddle with the ball and, like, get my feet right, and I just got to throw it out there. He's as good as anybody I've ever seen at that. He's on Aaron Rodgers level in that department with doing that type of stuff. And then he has great feet, as you see. And then just a great wrist and hand, and he can throw the ball with authority and confidence and not worry about where it goes. It's not like he's throwing it like, oh, let me just get the completion so I'm 68 for 70. He is letting it fly the whole day, and that's what I really appreciate him. He's a natural. He really is.
Well, and look, anytime we see one of these guys, and they are rare, who can generate the velocity and the power without the traditional gotta be
so
the right
square
way,
and
gotta have
perfect
the
and
hips the right way, gotta have the drive from the lower body to muster the power. The guys who are rare and the guys who are special can generate that oomph on the ball with the flick of the wrist. And it's just God-given. It's there. And it's also man-developed. You have to get the most out of it. You have to put in the work. You have to understand, hey, this thing hanging off of my shoulder is pretty special. I need to get the most out of it, and it looks like Cam Ward has. But that is such an advantage, because the quicker you get rid of the ball, the less time the defensive backs have to react. And it's one of the reasons why Mahomes and Josh Allen have been so great, Lamar Jackson too. You can't predict when the ball's
you're
coming.
exactly
That's
right.
Why guys like Tim Tebow were so criticized.
Right.
That catapult.
Staring at you, it's long, it's deliberate, it's coming.
You know, that's the guy. Go get the ball.
Right.
And when it snaps out like that, while the guy's moving left and it snaps out the other way, you've got less of a chance to go get to the ball, and that's what makes a guy not just good, but great, and potentially, quickly to the top of the stack of all quarterbacks in the NFL. If you can do it out there against NFL caliber defenses. We don't know that and won't know that until he does. But man, this stuff, this is different than what we're used to seeing from a pro day worker.
Yeah, it's easy. It's fun for him. You could tell there's no pressure. He's just like, oh, let me flick this one at 100 miles per hour and spin it and throw a perfect spiral. And again, this is kind of what's needed in the modern day NFL. One of the most things that I love about evaluating the quarterbacks is, you hit the 5-yard completion, you hit the 10-yard completion, he's open. Okay, you went from the first read to the second read to the third read, you did that. Okay, good. You should be able to do those as a quarterback. Me, and I think you're along with me, I put in high regard the plays where nothing's there. It's nothing. One's not open. Two's not open. Oh, no, the pocket's starting to get a little hairy in there. Oh, wow, he still got a 25-yard gain. He still got a 20-yard completion. He still found a way to escape the pocket and throw something like this down the field to the guy along the sideline. That, to me, is where he's great. So he can run the system, but when the system is not there to deliver, he can make things happen. And as we know, in the current status of the NFL with the defenses and all the crazy stuff people are doing and how many good DNs and linebackers and safeties and corners are in the league right now, these like quarterback coach, offensive coordinators, they're not going to be right all the time. So you're going to need the quarterback to make a move and throw the ball 20 yards over the middle, sidearm, and just flick it and throw an absolute laser. And that's where we are a little bit in the modern day NFL. And that's why, again, we're seeing the top quarterbacks in football are all good at those type of things. Lamar, Josh Allen, Mahomes, even Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is slick. He might not do it with quite the flash with the sidearm stuff, but the way he moves and finds little holes in the pocket, it's the same thing. And that's where I think Cam Ward is next level in the slam dunk number one pick.
Ability to make chicken salad out of a play that has gone to chicken heaven.
Yeah. With all my chickens. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key. That's the difference between the pocket passer and the guy who can break the pocket if he needs to. You know, the way that we see Mahomes do it, the way Ben Roethlisberger used to do it, buy time laterally.
Yeah, right.
And just the fact that he can just pew the ball is the key. Because when he's got to get out of that spot where he'd be in a greater degree of comfort and just rip it, he's going to be able to do it.
He is.
We assume. Based upon what we saw yesterday.
I know. I'm excited.
We'll see if he can do it.
I think I think a lot of people are going to really like Cam Ward. You know, the casual fan who didn't really watch him in college football, saw a few highlights. They see him in the NFL. I think he's got the kind of style and flair that people are going to latch onto pretty quick. Again, the RPO game, right? You fake your little run, and then you got to throw a slant or something like that. He can do that, ride the guy, his feet never move, and he just throws it like he's a third baseman or a shortstop like we talked to him at the Combine, and he can put incredible force on it. And he's got a flexible arm. Let alone he can do all the system stuff too. And that's where I think it's really great. And I feel really happy for the Tennessee Titans because, like you said, they need something. They need something to latch on down there. It's a city. It's cool. I've played down there. Nashville's a great spot, right? And I don't think they've had anybody to latch on to at the position since Steve McNair, early Vince Young days, right? That, to me, would be the last time I feel like that. And this guy can be that type of guy.
Yeah, and the Vince Young thing went sideways after a couple of years. Yeah. They went to the Super Bowl with McNair, Super Bowl 34. They've had some good years, but they've just been there. They've just not been exciting. There hasn't been any reason to say, "Oh, we must watch the Tennessee Titans," other than the time with Derrick Henry. But even then, it was just a team that was second fiddle at best to the best teams in the NFL. This is their chance to bust through. They got that great new stadium coming. They want to have a Super Bowl down there. This is an opportunity for the Tennessee Titans to join the ranks of the rest of the National Football League and not be that team that you just kind of forget about. You know, there are certain teams, Chris, when they're on a bye during football season, you don't even notice it.
Yeah,
they're
right.
One of those
you don't
teams.
even care, right? Yeah, I hear you. They are. I think, Vrabel, I think, made people like me and you have a little bit more of an eye on them because we know how damn good he was, and he was special coach, and he was going to get maybe more out of that team than anybody else, and that's why we kept an eye on him. But yeah, there's the just the average casual fan. There's been nothing to latch on down there in Tennessee, really. And this is what's cool for them, and I'm excited for it because I do think this is a guy that's got a little Steve McNair in his game in general, and he's a good leader, and he's a professional. It's gym rat. He's got everything, and I think with Tennessee showing you that whole contingent that went down there for that, it feels like Drew Bledsoe to New England in '93. Like it's just a lock already. It's Carson Palmer, right, to the Bengals back in my year coming out, where it's just like you knew it's already done. Forget it. They're telling you without telling you, and I'm happy for them that they got a guy that's damn special in my eyes.
Unless there's a curveball like Mike Vick to the Chargers in 2001.
Right.
Remember that?
Right.
Everything was pointed to that, and then just a few days before the draft, boom, there went the trade. I don't see that happening now. You don't pay to take your entire in-house TV and website production to Miami if you're thinking about trading.
That's to me the biggest one. Forget the coaches and the GM. It's the in-house production. That tells me you're worried. Like, you want to show your fans. You want to get it on the website. Here's our guy. Here's the future. Let's start getting excited now. I'm with you there. It does feel a lot like that, and it's a guy that is I think a guy that can change the organizational, what do we want to say, direction, where it's going. He's certainly that type of talent. And for Brian Callahan, who, of course, we know it's a big year in his second year as a head coach and the offense they run, I think this guy's pretty damn mature in how he plays. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of growing pains here. I think he's going to be ready to go. And he's, like we talked about, he's a worker and a leader anyways, to where he's going to give himself the best opportunities to succeed.
Here's a little Cam Ward on what he told the Titans contingent at his pro day workout in Miami.
So I'm solidifying it today. They finally got to see me throw in person. That should be all they need to see. But at the end of the day, whether they want to give it the pick or not, I'm going to be happy with whatever team I go to. So I'm just trying to put football in.
The key word is solidify. Solidifying his status. And I don't know how much solidification it needed. I think it was already solid. But you look at the clips we showed, he's the guy. It'll be a stunner of all stunners if Cam Ward isn't the first overall pick. And I know the NFL wants there to be mystery as long as possible. Remember when the Rams traded up 9 years ago to get the top pick, and Jeff Fisher was being all coy because the league didn't want the Rams to tell the world they were taking Jared Goff. Initially, there was a report when they traded up from the LA Times that they were taking Carson Wentz, and that kind of, maybe it will be Wentz. Oh, no, it's going to be Goff. And that mystery continued up until it was time to announce the pick. That's not going to happen this year. The draft begins at about 8:15 a month from yesterday with the second pick when the Browns will be on the clock. And let's go there.
Okay. Because you're right. I mean, dude, the other thing that we have the inkling on with the Tennessee thing is there was talks, especially up here in the New York area, that the Giants might call the Titans to get to the number 1 pick and try to get Cam Ward and do that. And I don't know, it was 10 days, 2 weeks ago? That fizzled out. And there was reports up here in the New York area that the Giants have stopped calling and trying to do that, because I think Tennessee just was like, no. I mean, are you going to trade us like every great player on your team and the next 4 first-round picks? Then maybe we'll do it. But other than that, you're not getting them. And I think that says a lot, too, that there's just crickets around Tennessee at the quarterback situation in all capacity, whether it was veteran free agency or the draft stuff. And I think that all leads us to knowing what's going to happen.
By rule, you can go out 3 drafts maximum. So you
3.
Could do 3
I was being
future first-round picks.
Yeah,
now, right, yeah. But because here's the point. 5 years ago, when the Dolphins were trying to move up from number 5 to number 1 to get Joe Burrow, the Bengals were not entertaining anything. Nothing they said. It didn't matter. We're just not listening. It's like the old plug your ears, la, 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 not listening. The Bengals refused to entertain anything that the Dolphins were putting on the table. And, part of the package would have been you still have the 5th overall pick in the draft if you are the Cincinnati Bengals. They refused to do it, and it sounds like the Titans are sending those same messages. This is our guy. We're not going to do it. We're going to take him. And they're not being completely overt about it because the league doesn't like anyone to know ahead of time because they want maximum. And I get it. You want maximum number of people to tune in to watch the ultimate reality show about nothing. The draft, the event that could happen anywhere. They've manufactured this thing into the biggest offseason event by far. Hundreds of thousands of people will be at Lambeau Field for something they could do by group text. Just don't accidentally add any reporters to that group text. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.